everyone, welcome back to my channel. So this video is gonna be a pretty big book haul because it was my birthday last week on July 19th. So I got some books as gifts and my parents gave me money for my birthday and I spent all of it on books because what else are you supposed to do when you get money for your birthday if not buy all the books that you've been dying to get? So yeah, I don't even know how many books I have here. I counted them yesterday, but then I forgot how much it was. So yeah, I have two piles here and I'm just gonna get into all the books that I got for my birthday. So first I'm gonna go into the ones that I got as gifts. So I sent all of the people, like my family, my friends, my boyfriend, like I sent them a list of the books that I want and this is what they did. So my sister got me Orange Volume 1. I don't really know what this is about, but I've just heard really good things about it and I've been wanting to read this for years, and I think it's only 2 volumes and I think there's either a show, like an anime, or a movie, but I'm pretty sure it's an anime. My sister said that the anime is not that good, but then my friend said that it was amazing and that she cried. So I don't know what the truth is. I'm going to find out for myself once I do eventually get to this, but yeah, I'm just so happy that I finally have this manga that I've been wanting to read for so long, and I just love the cover, how it looks kind of like a watercolor painting. Like, I just think it's super cute. So that's what my sister got me, and then one of my friends got me Writers and Lovers by Lily King. I don't know what this is about. I just know it follows a woman named Casey trying to navigate life after she loses her mom, I think, and it's just basically navigating life and relationships after that happened. That's pretty much all I know. And I also love this cover. It's just so pretty, like the pink with like the flowers and I think this cover is so pretty, so she got me that. And another book with a beautiful cover is A Magic Steeped in Poison. I don't really know what this is about either. This is gonna be a common theme throughout this video because I just buy books based off of recommendations, but I've heard that this one is really good and it has a magic system based on tea, and I love tea and I love magic. So this seems like it's gonna be really good and I'm so excited to get to it. And look how beautiful this cover is. Like, it's just so beautiful. Like, I could stare at this cover all day because it is so pretty. But those are the 2 books that my friend got for me. The next 2 books my boyfriend got for me. So he got me A Sorcery of Thorns by Margaret Rogerson. I heard Clockwork Reader raving about this in one of her recent videos. Like, it's like one of her new favorite books of all time and I trust her recommendations, so really excited to get to this one. And another book kind of from her recommendation, but also I've just been wanting to read it for so long, is An Ember in the Ashes. I have been putting off reading this for so long. Like, this has been on my Goodreads TBR for 5 years and I just now own a copy of it. So I don't know what took me so long to finally get this book, but now I finally have it and I'm so excited to get to this one because I've just heard so many good things about this series and I just can't wait because it's been a while since I've read a fantasy series and I think this is going to be really good. Next is a book I got because I kept seeing it on Instagram and I really liked the cover, and also Mel Reads read it in one of her recent reading vlogs and she really enjoyed it, so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and buy it. And that is Funny You Should Ask. Look at this cover. Like, look at the pink and the red and the illustrations. Like, I just think this cover is so fun. Like, this is so cute and I kind of know what this one's about. It basically follows a writer who is interviewing the new James Bond, and James Bond is notoriously always British, but this one is American and she's doing an interview on him, and then 10 years later she's interviewing him again, and I think a romance goes from there, and I just think it sounds really interesting, and I just love this cover, and I just think it's gonna be really fun. This next book has also been on my TBR for ages, and I just have been putting off reading it because it's kind of intimidating, but it's one of Mel Reed's favorite books, and the reason that I finally decided to buy it was because Books with Meg, a small booktuber, she recently read it and really loved it, and specifically she loved Hilo, and I was like, okay, I want to fall in love with a new fictional man, so I decided to buy it, and that is Jade City. I know this follows like a mafia family, and the whole magic system revolves around Jade, and I just think it sounds really cool. I have not read an adult fantasy in a while, and I'm just really excited to get to this one. It's gonna be a bit of an intimidating read because it is kind of big, and it's gonna be a whole new magic system to learn, but Meg said that once you get into it, it's not that difficult to follow. It's just a little like information-y at the beginning, like you just have to learn a bunch of new things, but she said that it's easy to get into. This next one I bought because I listened to it on audio, and I just loved it so much. Like, it's one of my new all-time favorite romances, and I just needed a physical copy of it so I can reread and annotate it, and that is The Roughest Draft. This book is so good. Like, this is what I was hoping to get from book lovers, but sadly it didn't deliver for me, but this book did. It follows two authors who wrote a really popular book, but then they had some sort of falling out, but then years later they're reconnected by their like respective agents, and they're writing a new book, and they're living together in this beach house or like Florida home same way that they did all those years back, and they're just dealing with their feelings for each other and their feelings towards writing and writing together, and it just is so good. I highly recommend getting the audiobook for this one because it has two POVs and it has two narrators, and it was just so good. Like, I really want to reread this one soon because there were just so many lines that I wish I could have highlighted and annotated because they were just so beautiful, and I really can't wait to reread this one. I might have to do it sometime soon because I need to annotate this one. The next book I bought is Acts of Desperation. I don't really know what this one is about. I just know that Books with Chloe has been reading it and she's really enjoying it, or I think she did finish reading it and she really enjoyed it, and it just sounds really interesting. I haven't really ventured into like literary fiction that much. Chloe did say that it's a little bit difficult to get through because of the topics that it discusses, but I think it's gonna be really interesting once I do get to it, and I just think this cover is so cool. Like, it's just so cool. The next book I got is really interesting because I read this book in high school and I gave it 3 stars because I really didn't like it that much. I thought it was fine, but it didn't really like stand out to me or anything, and I sold my copy to one of my friends, but it's been in my mind ever since, and I keep seeing people reading it and sharing quotes about it, and I just think I'm really gonna like it now because my taste has changed a lot since I was in high school, obviously. That book is The Night Circus. I don't really know what else to say about this book. This book is super popular and it has been for so many years now, and so many people love it, but I didn't. But I'm hoping that I can be one of those people, so I'm really excited to give this one another try because I just think I'm really gonna enjoy it this time, just based on the quotes that I've seen. Like, I don't know why I didn't enjoy it back in the day, but I think now I'm really gonna enjoy it, so I'm excited to give this one a second try. This next book is another book that I got based off of a Clockwork Reader because she has been talking about this manga for a while now, and it has been once again in my cart for like months now at this point, and I just have not bought it until now. And that manga is 5 centimeters per second. She really loves it, and the premise of it sounded really interesting. Just basically like 2 people falling in love, but then circumstances push them apart, something like that. I've heard that the movie is really beautiful and so beautifully animated and drawn, and it's just really beautiful to look at, so I'm really excited to watch the movie after I read the manga because I just think it's gonna be really cute. I didn't realize just how many books I bought because of A Clockwork Reader. Like, this is not intentional at all, but I have bought a lot of books because of her recommendation, and this one I just realized is also one of her recommendations, and that is The Wolf and the Woodsman. I bought this when I went to the bookstore with my friends for my birthday. I was trying to limit myself to just buying one book, and I decided on this one. I'm just now realizing that this was one of her recommendations from one of her recent videos. I think it's a adult romance, but it's a fantasy romance if I'm not mistaken. I've heard that's kind of dark, but that it's really good, and that's pretty much all I need to know. I have 2 more books in this pile. I have We Hunt the Flame. I have also had this book on my TBR for ages, but it's a fantasy, and fantasies always intimidate me, so I've just never bought it until now. But I once again keep seeing quotes on Instagram and fan art and everything, and it just seems so good, and I think I'm really gonna enjoy it. And it is a duology, which I really like because I find it hard to commit to like 5+ book long series. Like, I tap out after 4 books. Like, if a series is longer than 4 books, I'm not gonna read it. So this one's a nice little duology. I don't really know what it's about, but I have just heard that it's really good. Oh, people lived because she killed, people died because he lived. Okay, that's all I need to know. I'm sold. The last book that I have here is Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I bought this one because of Books with Chloe, Kate Literature, and Mel Reads, because they all read this book recently and they really enjoyed it. I know Mel Reads gave it 5 stars, and they just really enjoyed it and thought that it was really good, and it just seems really interesting. We follow Cleopatra and Frankenstein in this like age gap relationship. The blurb on the inside says, for readers of Modern Lovers and Conversations with Friends, an addictive, humorous, and poignant debut novel about the shockwaves caused by one couple's impulsive marriage. I don't need to know anything else. I don't like Sally Rooney, so the Conversations with Friends part is worrying, and I have not read Modern Lovers, but it just seems so interesting, and I think it's gonna be a really interesting book to follow these 2 characters and their completely different lives, and yeah, I just think it's gonna be really fascinating. And the cover is so beautiful. I love this cover, and the one for the paperback is also really nice. Couldn't decide if I liked this cover more or the one for the paperback, but I ultimately decided on getting this one because it's a hardcover, and I just think it's so beautiful. Like, this painting is so beautiful, and like the pink color on the inside is just so pretty. And oh, just a plain gray hardcover, but the colors of this are just so pleasing to me. I've also seen this book all over Instagram, and people just say that it's really good, and I'm interested to see what I think about it because I tend to not really like books that are super hyped up, so this one's gonna be really interesting to give it a try, and it's gonna be different from anything else I've ever read because it's kind of like literary fiction-y, but also it's a romance, so this is a book that's kind of outside my comfort zone, but I'm excited to give it a try. So yeah, those are all the books that I got for my birthday. Let me just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Oh, I have 14 books here, but then I just remembered I have 2 more coming in the mail. I also got the Dragon Republic by R.F. Kuang, which is the 2nd book in the Poppy War series. I read the 1st book last year and I really enjoyed it, and I just kept putting off reading the 2nd one because it's just, that whole world is a lot to get into, but I keep seeing people rave about this series and specifically the 3rd book, so I just want to get to the 2nd one so I can finally read the 3rd one that people keep saying is so good. And I also bought Daughter of the Moon Goddess because Mel Reeds read it in one of her recent videos and she really loved it. She gave it 5 stars. She thought that it was so good and it seemed really interesting, so I bought it because I also trust her recommendations. Those are all the books that I got for my birthday. We have a pretty big mix of genres. Like we have fantasy, we have romance, we have literary fiction, we have manga, like we have all types of different things here, and it's really exciting because I'm trying to slowly figure out what my reading taste is and what genres I like and don't like. So I think this little pile that I have here is gonna be really interesting and fun to experiment with and see which genres do and don't work for me. Also, let me know if you've read any of these books and which ones I should prioritize, because I just have too many good books here that I'm so excited to read that I don't know where to start. But yeah, so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you in my next one. Bye.